Am I the a-hole for exposing my future sister-in-law for bullying me in high school at a family event? In high school, I used to be friends with this girl, Anika. We were close until junior year, when I discovered she had been spreading false rumors about me. However, even after I stopped being friends with her, she continued to make up lies about me and made my life hell right up until we graduated. The party rolled out and guess who walked in the door with Carter? Anika. I honestly thought I was hallucinating, and I felt sick seeing her again. Carter left Anika with some relatives, then came over to me and asked to talk. I already know this is about to be awkward. But when we sat down to eat, all hell broke loose. One of my aunts asked me how I felt about my brother getting married. I tried changing the subject, but she kept pressing. So I eventually snapped and said something like, I actually don't feel great about it considering his future wife bullied me and never apologized. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tiara, and for those who are new, welcome. Today is Reddit Wednesday, and the topic for today is family feud. Family is probably one of the most important things in someone's life, but we all know it can also be the cause of some drama. We're gonna be going through some Am I the A-hole stories to determine if some of these people are the a-hole in their family drama. Y'all know I don't like to keep my intros too long, so let's get straight into the video. Am I the a-hole for canceling my wedding after finding out my fiance's ex is invited by his family? I, 27 female, and my fiance, Alex, 30 male, have been engaged for a year and we're planning our wedding for the end of the summer. Everything was going smoothly until a couple weeks ago when Alex's family dropped a bombshell. Alex's family is very close-knit and has always been involved in our wedding planning. Recently, I have found out that they have invited Alex's ex, Sarah, 29 female, to the wedding. Alex and Sarah were dating for about 5 years and broke up about 2 years ago. They're still on good terms, but I was never comfortable with the idea of her being at our wedding. Wow. I definitely have a lot of opinions here. Now, this is just me. I know everyone's different, so I need to preface that. When it comes to planning a wedding, I find it very stressful when there's a lot of opinions coming in. And I know it's coming from a good place, but it's just very stressful. The amount of things that you have to do to plan a wedding, it's just too much to be having outside opinions coming in. It really is. So that was already my first thought when you're saying that the whole family is planning the wedding. Again, maybe this is something that you're okay with to begin with, but we're already seeing the repercussions of this. I don't even understand what in his family's mind thought it was okay to invite his ex, but that is just crazy work. It really is. Why do you even think that's okay? I know you mentioned your fiance is cool with the ex, which is cool, I guess, but that doesn't warrant an invitation, in my opinion. So that's step number one. That needs to be hashed out because I can already understand the stress and conflicted feelings that you're going through. I also think it would be different if you were cool with the ex. I know some people's dynamic is different and that works out for them, but you're clearly not cool with it. You're uncomfortable. I don't even know how this game to play. When I brought this up to Alex, he said that it's a family tradition to invite former partners. I can't even finish a sentence. What? A tradition? What kind of tradition is that? Please enlighten me. If there's a tradition where you invite your exes to a wedding, please let me know because I don't want to be disrespectful, but I've never heard of that. He said that it's a family tradition to invite former partners if they're still friends and that it would be rude to exclude her. He insisted that it's no big deal and that Sarah is just a part of their extended social circle. I'm sorry, guys. I'm struggling. Social circle. No. It's time to set some boundaries because this is just ridiculous. Now, if you are cool with your ex, congratulations. Not everybody can get that far. But an extended social circle? Please. He thinks you're boo-boo the fool. I tried to explain that having Sarah at our wedding made me feel uncomfortable and undermined the significance of the event for me. Alex's response was that I was being unreasonable and selfish for not considering his family's feelings. He argued that it would cause unnecessary drama if we uninvited Sarah now, and that we should just focus on enjoying the day. I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't just about inviting an ex, but also about my place in Alex's life and whether I was truly a priority. You hit the dot. That's exactly what it is. Because now let's go ahead and take out the fact that it's about the ex. Let's just take her out of it. This is a wedding. This is your guys' special day. And he has no regard for your feelings. It's one thing if you guys were talking about cupcake frosting. I want a green, I want a pink. Okay, we'll figure it out. But an ex, and you could see the magnitude of the situation. It's to the point where your own wife or fiance would be uncomfortable in her own wedding. I think that screams volumes. So the fact that he just turned around and said that you're selfish and that you're not considering your family's feelings is beyond me. I'm sorry, but his family can throw their own party. If they want her around so bad, why can't they throw a get together? I think that would be more appropriate. Nobody's telling them to alter the relationship. They got it. It's weird, but they got it. For them to feel obligated to invite her to your wedding is so crazy to me. This just goes back to why I don't like involving too many people in the planning process, because it could just get to a point where it's overwhelming and end up at a point where it doesn't even make sense. After a lot of back and forth, I decided that I couldn't go through with the wedding under these circumstances. I canceled the venue and all the plans we had made, explaining to Alex and his family that I couldn't commit to marrying someone who wasn't willing to respect my feelings about such a significant issue. I can't even lie, I did not think you were gonna go that far, but I think it's justified. I really do. If you're already experiencing this now, who knows what's gonna happen in the future? I'm not trying to prey on anybody's downfall. I want everyone to succeed. I really do. I love marriages. I think it's beautiful. But if it comes down to you're selfish because you don't want his ex to be there, we're gonna need to revisit some things. And it's not even like this is like an ex from the 3rd grade. They broke up 2 years ago. This is fresh. And not only that, but they've been together for 5 years. They were deep in it. Now, Alex and his family are furious with me. They believe I'm overreacting and that I should have been more accommodating. Some of my friends and family think I did the right thing, while others feel I may have acted too impulsively. So, am I the a-hole for canceling my wedding after finding out that my fiance's ex was invited by his family? No. And I'm sure you guys already knew what I thought. I do understand that the concept alone of calling off a wedding is extreme, but under these circumstances, I think it makes sense because your feelings are not being accommodated by anyone. That's a problem. If they're that close to Sarah, they could throw their own party, they can have their own get together, they can have their own function. But for them to think that they need to bring her into your wedding is crazy. And it's not even like his family's tripping and he's standing up for you like, hey, no, this is not what she's comfortable with. Your fiance isn't even supporting you, which is crazy. It really is. I think it's important to be on the same page as your significant other. Unfortunately, this just showed you where he lies when it comes to your feelings and his family's, and that's definitely something I would look out for. So no, you're not the a-hole and they're just gonna have to get over it. Am I the a-hole for not following my husband's family tradition? My 28 female, husband 29 male comes from a very traditional family. The wife is 28, the husband's 29. I'm sure you guys got that, but I don't need any confusion here. While we disagree with his family on many things, it has never really been an issue until now. I am currently 8 months pregnant and my husband and I couldn't be happier as we've been trying for a while. Since I first found out I was pregnant, we've been discussing names for our child. In my husband's family, the tradition wants the child to be named after his grandfather. Basically, firstborn men in his family only have one of the two names, James or Henry. That's unique. My husband's grandfather was James, so his name is James too. My husband's father is called Henry, so our child should be too, and so on and so forth. As I said before, I am very open to learning different cultures and traditions. I've heard of people wanting to name their kids after the father to keep the legacy, but I've never really heard it as a tradition before. So I'm kind of curious like what the tradition is. If you guys know, please let me know. I would love to deep dive into it and learn more about it, but I've never heard of it, so I'm open to learn more about it, especially since I'm about to give an opinion on this because I'm not trying to get canceled. But my husband and I didn't really feel like calling our child Henry. And although it's a beautiful way to honor family members, we really wanted our child to have a name that would be personal, that would truly be his. So we chose another name and decided to wait until after the birth to reveal it to everyone. Smart. Very smart. Because you already know if you're gonna bring this up before the birth, it's gonna be chaos. And you don't need the stress while you're pregnant. You need to have a healthy pregnancy. This week, my mother-in-law came to visit us and help us set up for the baby. She brought us some presents, amongst which was a bunch of clothes on which she hand embroidered the name Henry. Oh my gosh. I can't really say the audacity because if it's a tradition, I guess everyone just expects the baby to be Henry, so I can't even fault her. It's just funny because she clearly doesn't know that y'all are not on the same page. I said that it was nice and thanked her for it, but told her that we wouldn't be naming our child Henry, as we have already told her in the past. She started insisting and saying that it was a tradition, so it had to be that way. I explained to her that we'd rather give our child a name that we chose, and that Henry could be his middle name. If you guys watch my videos, y'all already know how I feel about the outside opinions, but she needs to sit down. I understand that this is a tradition. I understand it. It's just really crazy to me how people will tell someone else what they have to do in their lives. Whose life is this? I understand it's not the norm. I understand it's not something that you would do or your mom would do. Or wait, no, the stepmom? Stepmom? Not stepmom. Mother-in-law. The mother-in-law would do. I understand that. That's not her baby. I understand why she put Henry on the clothes because it was expected. It's a tradition. But what we're not gonna do is say what you have to do, because that's when we cross the line. Now, what I will say is that you're very kind of being accommodating, or not even accommodating, but compromising by putting the name as the middle. I think that was very, very considerate, because if you wanted to, you could have just ditched the whole name. But I think it was very nice of you to still consider having Henry in the name, so the mother-in-law really could just sit down. She immediately went to my husband and started saying things like, "You're not going to let her do that to our family," and making it very dramatic, saying that I was breaking a tradition that went back hundreds of years. Honestly, not sure about that. My husband tried to explain that we both agreed on the name and all the reasons why we made that choice, but she wouldn't listen. She suggested that we name him Henry on paper as his legal name and then called him something else, but I thought that would be confusing for him and told her that he would be named what we chose. She is doing too much. The main thing that I'm getting so far is that you and your husband agreed. Period. That's all it should be. You and your husband agreed, therefore that's what it should be. I understand it's sad. No Henry, but it's time to move on. It's not gonna happen. Maybe mother-in-law needs to have another baby. Well, I guess that doesn't work because she's married to James, but I feel like she's just crossing the boundaries and she's not really understanding her place in you and your husband's relationship, because she shouldn't feel obligated to name your child. She kept begging my husband and saying that I was ruining the family tradition, and at one point I lost it, which is partially to blame on hormones, I think, and told her that it was our child, so we did what we wanted, and we didn't have to follow a stupid tradition. She stormed out, and my husband has since received texts from his father and sister accusing me of making his mother feel really bad and some other stuff that I don't really remember. Okay, you know what's crazy? Everybody in that family is only blaming you, yet you told us that this is a decision that was made between you and your husband. So why are they coming for you? That's what I want to know. Why aren't they coming for your husband? Because he seemed to be on the same page. The reason I say that is because I think that speaks volumes. The fact that they're only coming for you for a decision that was made by both of you says a lot. I get the importance of tradition and it could be really beautiful, but also I feel like that shouldn't be an obligation and it's okay to change things. We won't change our baby's name because we're really set on that, but maybe we were wrong for not following the tradition. I'm not entirely sure. I am mentally exhausted by all this drama. I would be too. You're pregnant, so I can't even imagine. I really can't. I commend you for sticking with the plan. If they want another Henry, they can make another Henry. You're definitely not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for exposing my future sister-in-law for bullying me in high school at a family event? In high school, I used to be friends with this girl, Anika. We were close until junior year when I discovered she had been spreading false rumors about me. However, even after I stopped being friends with her, she continued to make up lies about me and made my life hell right up until we graduated. We went to different universities and I'm in my mid-20s now. My older brother Carter went to the same university as Anika. Recently, he announced that he had gotten engaged to his girlfriend. Our family was happy for him, but we were surprised at the same time since we didn't know he was dating anyone. He said he'd introduce her at an upcoming family party. The party rolled out and guess who walked in the door with Carter? Anika. I honestly thought I was hallucinating and I felt sick seeing her again. Carter left Anika with some relatives, then came over to me and asked to talk. I already know this is about to be awkward. We went to another room and Carter explained he met Anika at a party and didn't recognize her, but it was love at first sight. But after he found out her full name, he realized it was the same Anika who spread lies about me. He confronted her and she claimed not to remember me or anything she did. He let it go because he really liked her. He then pleaded with me to be nice to her since she didn't remember what she had done and that she was a good person. I just told him I needed a moment to myself to process everything. Okay. I honestly was a little bit concerned about the brother. I thought he was just gonna bypass the whole situation in high school, but it's nice to know that he confronted her initially once he did realize who he was dating. Now, as far as her not remembering things, I'm not too sure what the rumors were. I think that would kind of help me out. But if it was like a crazy rumor that would ruin your reputation, then that should be pretty memorable. But that's not excusing her behavior. She's spreading rumors. That's not cool at all. So I don't want y'all thinking I'm trying to defend Anika. I'm not. But I'm just trying to understand why she's saying she doesn't remember. And I'm pretty sure once she did go with your brother, she had to know. There's no way she didn't remember Carter. So the fact that he had to find out who she was is a little skeptical. When I eventually went back to the party, I decided I would ignore her. I didn't say anything rude. I just didn't talk to her or acknowledge her. She didn't talk to me or acknowledge me either. Alright, so that already lets me know that she does know. Because there's no reason for her to be talking to all the relatives, but not you. She clearly knows who you are. But when we sat down to eat, all hell broke loose. One of my aunts asked me how I felt about my brother getting married. I tried changing the subject, but she kept pressing. So I eventually snapped and said something like, I actually don't feel great about it considering his future wife bullied me and never apologized. Yeah, all hell definitely broke loose. I don't even need to read the rest because I already know it went left. I'm proud of you for being honest. I mean, that's not really something that you could fake, especially if she's about to be his wife. That's something that you can never escape. Everyone turned to look at Anika. She just started crying and ran out the room. It's giving crocodile tears. What are you running for? That makes you look so guilty. So guilty. I understand this is your first encounter with the family, but you gotta face it. I don't know what you expected. You know, or not you, but Anika knew that when she got with Carter, she was gonna have to face reality. Because there's no way she got with Carter not knowing who he was or who he was associated with. She could have thought twice about that. Carter went after her and they left early. The rest of the night was chaotic because everyone was asking me what happened. I told them. Later, Carter called me and said I was a horrible person for embarrassing Anika in front of the whole family and I was being petty over high school drama. He demanded I apologize to her. I refused and said he was the awful one for blindsiding me with this and that if she never bothered to reach out and apologize for what she did while they were dating, I wasn't going to let it go now that they were engaged. He kept insisting that she didn't remember and she can't apologize for something she doesn't remember. But I think that's BS. I ended up hanging up on him. I have to side with you on this one. It's not like you're going out of your way to have her apologize to you. It's the fact that she's trying to integrate herself into your family and ignore history. Now, if y'all just ran into each other at the store, that's one thing. You don't really need to sweat it. It was in high school. But I do understand the importance of her at least acknowledging what she did. You're about to be my sister-in-law. The way I see it, I was asked a direct question and I provided a direct answer. Also, I don't think I have any obligation to cover for her when she made my life hell, especially when she's obviously lying about not remembering. Am I the a-hole? I don't think you're the a-hole. I honestly think you did what you needed to do. Because if you did keep it a secret, you would just have built up anger and it would burst eventually. And then the whole family's gonna be wondering where it's coming from. So I think it's good that you brought it up right then and there so the family knows what's up. Because she was really trying to march into that party like nothing ever happened, which is crazy. I think it takes a lot of guts. A lot of people would not want to do that to begin with. A lot of people would probably hide it. But I think it's good for you and your mental to say something. So maybe she'll learn not to do that again. Well, that's going to be the end of today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for joining, for tuning in. Again, for anyone who is new here to the YouTube crew, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed your stay here. If you liked what you saw, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps your girl out. And honestly, if you liked what you saw, then this is the perfect time to be a part of the YouTube crew. But aside from that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on the flip side. T is out.